This gentleman has joined us before, but we like to remind folks, I don't know, once a year, twice a year, that something called betting exchanges exist in this world. Not everywhere, but in certain jurisdictions where they're legal. And to discuss such a thing with us, it's Dean Sisun from Profit Exchange. How you doing, Dean? What's happening?
I'm good. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
I love that before you came on here, you're like, okay, what should we talk about first, Survivor or betting exchanges? Are you still alive in Survivor?
I'm alive. I feel pretty good.
In Circa Survivor?
In Circa Survivor. I've got the Bills left, so...
That's your play this week?
I don't know. Because I'm looking at the board, week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10. I feel like I could use them in any week.
How many did you start with, and how many do you have left?
Great question. Started with 3.
Yeah.
I took 1 for myself, and then I split 1 with 2 friends. I split another with another friend. Those are gone, ironically. And the one I have by myself, I still have a lot.
You still have. Are you chalky to this point, or is it a pretty solid power-rated entry, would you say?
I took the Giants week 2, and
that good.
Has proven to be a good risk. Everything else is a little chalk, though. I mentioned the Bills because that's about my only edge that I have.
Oh.
So
yeah.
I need to save them. I don't know. I got to figure out what to do. Week 7, I think, is going to be a bloodbath, but I'm just happy to be alive at this point.
Happy to be alive. See, the ones I had started with 5, I ended up with 2 last week. And because the ones that survived, just by chance, ended up being the chalky ones, I was like, there's no point in me taking either Miami or Detroit. Let me try to take the Commanders here to develop some kind of, power to these entries. And obviously, I'm done.
Right.
So.
Otherwise, you're just bleeding out, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Okay. So, no Miami this week? Oh, you already used Miami?
I used Miami last week. I'm also a Dolphins fan, so it's a little hard to double down on your own team. That was tough last week for me to take Miami, but I will not be on them this week.
Okay. But you were like super obsessed with it as more than anything that you do?
Yeah. Think about it every day.
I love it. It's running an exchange, and you're like, what am I going to pick in Survivor?
Exactly. I've got the Survivor grid up at all times on one monitor. It's like the focal point of my week.
We do have some Dolphins news.
Oh, what is that?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news for a fan, but Achane to the IR.
So a minimum of 4 games missed for Achane.
Terrific.
So Jeff Wilson Jr. will probably get some run now.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming back. Ahmed, I don't know what his status is, but I liked him early in the year. So we'll see.
IR for Achane.
That's brutal.
All right, so exchanges. This is familiar to European bettors more than it is to American bettors. So let's just do the 101. First of all, where is it available? Well, you are obviously representing Profit Exchange, but there are other exchanges like Sport Trade. Where is it for Profit Exchange? Where is that available?
Profit Exchange is just in New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
We will be expanding into other states next year, but as of right now, we are just in New Jersey.
Okay. And certain states around the country have this in other forms. Exchanges are available.
Yeah. So Sport Trade, our competitor, they're in New Jersey, and then they're in Colorado.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just us two right now in the market.
And for the average person who may not be familiar with exchanges, what exactly is an exchange? How does one place a bet on exchange?
Simply put, it is just peer-to-peer wagering. So instead of you betting against the book, whoever it may be makes a line, you are betting against someone else who has made that line, and you are taking their offer. Or what you can do is make an offer on an outcome, and then someone else can take your price, or multiple people can take your price. That is an exchange, very simply put. And then, of course, if you're in Colorado and New Jersey, you can only bet on exchanges. Anywhere else you can't yet.
So let's just take an example of let's take a typical NFL game on a weekend. Typically, what is the juice laid at an exchange versus in a conventional sports book?
Good question. So it converges as the game gets closer to kickoff for an NFL game, for example. An hour, 3 hours before, we're seeing minus 102 on each side, as opposed to minus 110.
Wow.
It's awesome. 24 hours out, we're seeing about minus 103 instead of minus 110.
It cannot be emphasized enough how that, over time, is just such much more of an advantageous position for bettors.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of people, obviously the customer acquisition game is key in this space, right? And a lot of books are paying big players to come on with deposit matches, so they're giving them 10%, 20%. And if you are just using an exchange over time, you will make up that deposit match in just a handful of bets, right? Because you're saving 7 to 9% if you're taking a minus 102, minus 101 bet versus minus 110 over time, right? So,
jeez,
yeah.
So I guess, and when did this first start? This is over a year now.
We launched August 2022. I've been working on this since let's say May 2018.
The dawn of time.
Yeah.
So there's two questions, and they're both similar, which is, has the growth of this exceeded your expectations? Has it matched them? Has it been below your expectations? Let's take that one first.
Mm-hmm. I think to start, it was exceeding my expectations. I think it's caught up to my expectations, I'll say right now. Yeah. I'm really happy with the growth. I mean, we're up 445% year over year, so, I mean, we look pretty good.
I remember the original knock was, it'll never be liquid enough. That wasn't the problem.
That's long gone.
Long gone.
That case study is thrown out the window. We are super liquid. There's $30,000 on each side of each game, right?
Yeah.
And then there's multiple price points out, $30,000, $30,000, $30,000. So, those naysayers are gone. I think it's had less of a viral impact to date than I thought it would, right? Because to me, it's such an unbelievable product. That's why we put it out there. But I think it's taking time for people to figure out that we're out there, and then also the education battle, right? This is a foreign concept to us Americans right now.
Yeah, but it is so simple to use, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so it's very intuitive. It doesn't take like if Kelly Bidlin walks into the betting exchange, into your service. It's very easy for anyone. I'll use him just as a representative of everyone else, but this could be me. This could be anybody. I'll use my buddy Tommy in D.C., who's like the perfect any man to do this. It's very, how long will it be before you feel comfortable with it? Moments?
You go on the site and it looks and feels like a sports book, right? Like, that's the way we designed it for a reason, because we want everyone on the betting spectrum to be on our exchange. It takes people time to figure out that, instead of seeing what I have available on the exchange to take right now, like a sports book, right? You click into a line, you place your bet. You can also request your own price. That takes people a little bit of time to figure out, and there's I'll say a learning curve to that, in that your bet necessarily won't be matched immediately, like in the next 5 seconds. But if you wait a few minutes, you will get matched. And if you just have a few minutes of patience, then you save yourself even more money or earn yourself even more money, right?
So, see, I love that. Because how many times do we sit here and you were like, well, I bet it if it was 9 cents shorter or whatever, but I'm going to pass on it.
If this existed in Nevada, I would probably do this exclusively, right? So what do you attribute? I guess this is the sort of, more abstract question of this.
Yeah.
What do you attribute to the fact that now you're saying it matches, it doesn't exceed your expectations, it matches? I may have told this story last time. So when the Midas algorithm started for in-game betting here at Cantor Gaming back in the day.
Yeah.
There was a British derivatives trader by the name of Andrew Garud who would come on my podcast and would talk about it. He was a lead developer of it. And he was like, look, it's going to be more in-game betting is going to be 51% of the handle, just like it is in the UK already. This was like 2010. Mm-hmm. And it took a long time for the American sports bettor to accept in-game betting. It's not quite at 51% now everywhere. Do you think that it's just the American sports bettors' unfamiliarity or unwillingness to sort of make that leap? It's the lack of, obviously, awareness, too. And then moving forward, I guess the other question is, do you think that changes? Do you think it will explode?
I think it will explode, first of all. I've seen a gradual increase month to month since we launched, so obviously that's been great. Like I said, I think we've missed that lack of a viral impact to date. The UK did have that back in 2001, 2002. It was a bit of a different product because people were betting on racing. So I think it was easier for people to see the value prop, right? Like if you're betting on a horse race, there's more vig in that market, right? You're looking at a 130% overround, whereas the exchange had a 105% overround, right? So the prices were more glaring to people. So I think people are starting to realize, if I keep betting at minus 102 versus minus 110, I'm going to make more and more money over time. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. So where would they go to do Profit Exchange specifically then?
Download it in the App Store, Profit Exchange. We're just live in New Jersey right now. You can also check us out at profitbettingexchange.com.
Okay. And there are other exchanges, as Dean mentioned as well. Dean Sisun from Profit Exchange. For those who like to bet minus 102 in jurisdictions where it's available, New Jersey specifically in this case. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Dean Sisun, everybody.